Good morning, sweet friends. I wanted to invite you into Cooking with Brenda Gantt today. This is a special day for me. Hey, it's my birthday. I've turned 74 today, and I'm thankful for every year that the Lord's given me. And I thought today, since it was my birthday, I'd just make us all a cake. And I'm going to make the one that I really like. Of course, I like a lot of them, but there's just something special about a carrot cake. I don't know. I love them. But anyway, I want you to look at my new gadget I got right here. This lady that came to the Cottle house, she knew it was my birthday today. And she bought me this nice thing here. I'll call it a food processor, but it does all kinds of things like your dough and everything else. But anyway, so I'm going to try it for the first time with you today to make my carrot cake. Now, I've already scraped my carrots. It's going to take a 1 1/3 cup. So I scraped them good, washed them good, and they're ready to do. So let's see what we've got. Let's try on the low at first because this is a new thing for me, okay? And I've got a little push down thing right here. It is. Ooh, Lord have mercy. Is this not making my life any easier? All right, let's do another one down in there. Get him pushed down first. Whoop. All right, here goes the next one. I don't know if this is going to be too many or not enough, but we're going to see. Anyway, I'm glad y'all are here celebrating with me. And for all of you out there that have the same birthday as me, we're not getting older. Hey, we're just getting better. Here's the last one. Try it on the high. Woo! Here we go, y'all. All right, let's see what we've got. Oh my goodness. Anyway, this lady, she is she said she'd always been a Girl Scout, and she's also a baker. She's a chef, and she bakes things. So I kind of felt intimidated, because I know she's got some great recipes and stuff, but she said I was doing good. So as long as I have her approval, hey, that's a good thing. All right, now we'll take this off. Oh, look at all my pretty carrots. Look. All right, let me measure now. I'll turn y'all off for a second. I'll measure to see if we've got the right amount. You can see that sun shining in on me today. It's a gorgeous day on my birthday. Talk to you a little bit. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I've already greased these with some hard Crisco, and I'm going to put just a little bit of flour in it. Doesn't matter if it's self-rising or plain. And what I do is I just toss it around in there like this. See how it flours it up? And then what I do is put the other one on top of it that I've done. And then I dance it down a little bit. And I get it all floured up. So now I've got 2 floured. And now I'm ready for the third one. So all I do is put this one on top of this one. And give a little more dance. And now I've got all 3 of my pans greased and floured, okay? And then if you've got any excess, just do that over your garbage can a little bit. Hit it with the back of your hand, and now I've got all 3 of the cake pans that are greased and floured, and I'm fixing to go to the next part. Okay, now it's time for our flour. So what we want to do with this one is we want to use our plain flour. That means all-purpose flour, and we have got to have 3 cups of it. So let me see if I can figure out how many of these we're going to need. Let's see if that'll be about right. Not quite. Let me get a little bit more. All right, there we go. That's 3 cups. Yes, I know this is a liquid measure. But hey, here we go. All right, I'm going to sift my flour because it's always better to sift it. Of your all-purpose flour, I'm going to sift that into my bowl. Just go back and forth with your sifter. You don't need to go around and around like this. It jumps out the top. Okay, we got that done. Set this to the side. And now we're going to put in our other dry ingredients. And it says 1 tablespoon of baking soda. 1 tablespoon of baking soda. So let me do that. And here it is. 1 tablespoon of baking soda. And let's see, 1 teaspoon of salt. And I didn't get that out yet. Let me do that. I always try to be organized when I meet y'all in the morning. And hey, sometimes I'm not. I'm not organized. But anyway, all right, let's get our 1 teaspoon of salt. There we go. 1 teaspoon of salt. Got that. And 1 tablespoon of cinnamon. This is your ground cinnamon. This is going to give it a really good flavor. And it's not cinnamon sugar. It's just ground cinnamon, okay? It's going to be a nice spicy carrot cake. It's going to be so good. There we go. 1 tablespoon of dry cinnamon. We've done that. All right, let's see what else it says. We put in our, let's see. All right, now we're going to add our oil and our vanilla and eggs, and we're going to beat well. So I need to get set up over there at my mixer. Let me go do that. We'll be right back. All right, I've got my mixer set up right here, so we're ready to roll. What I did is I mixed my flour, my cinnamon, and my baking soda and salt in this bowl, and now I'm going to put it in here. It would help if I lift this thing up. And I've got the beater that I put on it was more like a paddle beater. Y'all can see that. If you don't have a mixer, that's okay. Just get your little hand mixer or whip it up good with your hand. You'll be fine. You ain't got to have a bunch of stuff to make a cake. All right, so what it said to do next is to give that a gentle little pulse. All right, now I'm going to put in my oil. And this is calling for 1.5 cups of corn oil. So here we go. 1.5 cups. I'm going to gently pour it in. And I'll go over all these ingredients with you when we pop in the oven. All right, there's my 1.5 of my oil. I'm going to put 4 large eggs. I'm going to do those one at a time. So that mix up in there good. It's doing good. I can't wait. I'm going to fix me a big cup of coffee this afternoon after lunch. And I'm going to eat my birthday cake. And I'm going to think of my sweet Facebook friends that are with me and my Instagram friends. And hey, we're going to have some cake together. All right, we got that in there. We'll turn up just a little bit. Now it calls for, let me see, make sure I'm telling you right, 3/4 cup of pineapple. So I need to get me another measuring cup. Let me see. Here's one. And you want to drain your crushed pineapple. So what I've done is I put mine in a tea strainer and I just pushed down on it till all the juice came out. I've got me a can of juice right here. You can make you some punch for your children today. You had a mind to. All right, I'm gonna measure out 3/4 cups of this. Let me turn this off a minute. I'm gonna measure out 3/4 cups of our pineapple. Let's see how much that is. I'm gonna get a little bit more. You make you a pineapple sandwich with the rest of that pineapple. All right, I'm gonna put the pineapple in. Uh-oh, somebody's at the door. Wait a minute. Yes. Oh, good. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day. All right, darling. Bye-bye. Okay, that's done. All righty. I've got my pineapple in. Let me turn it on. All right, and now it's calling for your carrots. So, and the carrots, we grated those, and I'm just redoing it so to make sure we've got it. 1 1/3 cups of carrots. And that's what I've got, 1 1/3 cups. It's gonna be a mighty fat cake. There we go. And we're going to put in our pecans, which I've already chopped up some pecans. But the recipe says you could use walnuts or whatever other nut you might enjoy. Just put you some nuts in there. If you've got a family that won't eat nuts, well, just leave them out, y'all. You know, you can change recipes to suit your own self. So this says, let me see how many nuts does it say. Let me find it. 1 1/2 cups, which I've got. So I'm gonna put my nuts in there. Ooh, talk about a rich cake. We're gonna have a rich cake. Let me do that around a little bit. Get it mixed in with my batter, and while that's doing, I'm gonna put the last ingredient, which is our vanilla. And it calls for a whole tablespoon of this vanilla. Okay, got that in there. That's it. Well, it does call for some coconut. It says 1 1/2 cups of coconut, but I don't really want much coconut in there. I think I'll just put just a little bit. I really don't want much, but you put, if you like coconut, which I do, but my children don't, I'm gonna use a little of this sweet coconut in there. It calls, if you want to do it by the recipe, it calls for 1 1/2 cups. I'm just gonna put a little handful in. That's all I'm gonna put in there. You can, there's one that wasn't grained up, was it? That's all I'm gonna put. Okay, we'll turn it on just a little higher for just a second. Get my spatula and push it all down. Make sure everything's in there good. And it looks fine, y'all. Fine, fine, fine. It's got healthy stuff in it. When you think of carrots and eggs and nuts and pineapple, this cake can't help but be good for us. That's why I'm going to eat a bunch of it. All right, that's all. I'm going to mix it up. You don't want to over-mix your cake and your batter. So let me get that off of there. And I'm gonna pop it in the oven on 350 degrees, and then in just a second, I'll read to you how long. I think it said till it tries to pull away from the sides of your pan, but I'll reread it to make sure. I normally don't follow recipes, but when I'm doing a cake or a pie, I usually follow them. It's that everyday cooking that I don't use a recipe. You know, like butter beans, meatloaf, that kind of thing. Okay, here we go, y'all. That looks good, doesn't it? See our batter? All right, let's see if I can turn you around over here, and let's go over here and let's see if we get a picture of this chopping block. There we go. Let's get our, let me move this out of the way so y'all can see. I've got my 3 cake plates pans here. These cake pans are, they're supposed to be the non-stick kind. But, you know, sometimes I don't trust all that stuff. I don't want the cake to stick. So, anyway, all right, let's put this in. I'm going to kind of measure it out so we get the same amount in each one. I'll put a little scoop in that one. Then I'm going to go to the next one. These are going to be kind of thin layers because we're going to have an icing on it. I want y'all to stay with me now so we can get the icing. We'll do that in just a minute. Once I get this on, we'll have to cool our cake a little bit. This is going to be a big cake. We want to make sure we put it on a pretty cake plate, don't we? For my birthday. I wonder how many of you out there have the same birthday as me. I imagine a lot. Because we are the baby boomer generation. After the war, all the soldiers came home from war for our great country. And everybody got pregnant, including my mom. They were glad to see those soldier boys. All right, so let me kind of spread this out in here a little bit. We're going to have us a carrot cake. And it is going to be good, y'all. It's mighty thick, isn't it? Okay, let's do this one. Okay, and then the last one. We're going to put it on the middle shelf, 350 degrees, and after a while I'll tell y'all how long I cooked it. I'll look at my clock over there and make sure I got it right. I forgot that the time changed, and this morning I went over to the Cottle House to carry them their breakfast, and lo and behold, I was an hour early. I'm just thankful that they were all up and ready to eat, or I would have been in one pickle, wouldn't I? Okay, let me wipe my hands off. We're going to have a birthday cake. All right, let me put it in the oven here. We're going to put it on the middle shelf at 350 degrees. And I don't know how long, but I'll tell y'all in a little bit, okay? Talk to you just a minute. Okay, y'all, I think our cakes are ready. I stuck a stick in it and everything. And see how it's pulled away from the side a little bit? And I put one of these little kebab stick things in it. And when it came back, there was nothing on it. So I'm assuming that they're done. So they cooked about 40 minutes. But I will say this. Let me check that one. Let me do say this. All ovens, remember, are different. I mean, it's the truth, y'all. Some cook hot, some cook cold. Let me try this one. Yeah, they're all ready. They are all ready. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of just dump these out on my counter and let them cool a minute. And then I'm going to, after they cool, we'll make us some icing to go on it. Okay? And I'll get back with you when we get our icing going. All right, now it's time to make our icing for our carrot cake. You're going to start with 1 block of cream cheese. Put it in your mixer. Close it and turn her on. Then you're going to put in 1 stick of butter. Now both of these, y'all, are really soft. I've been letting them sit out all morning. So we'll throw that in. Next, we're going to put in some vanilla flavoring. I can find my measuring spoon. Here it is. And it's calling for 1 teaspoon. So let me put a teaspoon of vanilla flavoring in there. This is easy enough, isn't it? Hey, anything with cream cheese is delicious. Let me find my spatula. Let me see what I've done with it. I know I washed it. I probably put it back over here somewhere. Let me look. I don't know what I did with it. I surely don't know what I did with it. It's all right. I'll use something else. I'll use a spoon. I'm going to push it down in there. That's the reason I'm saying it. Here's a spatula. Here, I'll use this one. This is what I'll use. All right, here we go. A sweet lady gave me that, and it's high time I used it. I had it laying right there in my kitchen window. It works good. I like it when the rubber is flexible. It does better like that. All right, so we've got 1 block of cream cheese, 1 stick of butter, and now it's calling for, and it's unsalted butter too, in case you need to know that. But anyway, now it's calling for 3 cups of confectioned sugar, and I'm kind of scared of that. So I'm going to just put a little bit at a time and make sure, because I don't want it too thick. Turn it on low, and I'm going to start adding my confectioned sugar in it. This is 2½ cups that I'm putting in. I'm going to see if that won't be enough. It seems like 3 is just too much. I don't want it too stiff. And it's calling for the juice of half a lemon. And I've already rolled it and squeezed it and doing all that stuff to it. I'm cutting it in 2. This will make it mighty good, and I'm going to put the juice of half of this lemon in it. That ought to be really super good. Yes, I'm tempted to eat this, but I'm not. Got an apple problem. Some of you wrote in and said you eat it too. Heck, back when I was growing up, my mama didn't know it. I didn't know it. Of course, I was just a child. That's what we had around. Push it down in there. Well, it sure looks good. Making a nice icing. I can see this on a lot of different cakes. This is a nice little icing just to do in case you want to make a chocolate cake or some other kind of cake. Let me taste it. Really good. I'm not going to put that other half of that powdered sugar in it because I don't think it needs it. The recipe calls for it, but I'm not doing it. I think to make it too stiff. I want it kind of creamy like this, so I want it so stiff. My cake over there is just about cool enough, and when it gets cool, we're going to put this icing all over it, and then it'll be ready for my birthday time and your birthday time. So if you're from somewhere in this United States or somewhere over the world and today is your birthday too, happy birthday, y'all. Happy birthday. Some people say, well, would you like to go back to 20 years old? My goodness, no. I don't want to have to go through those times again. I think 74 is the perfect age, to tell you the truth. All right, we've got our icing ready, and I'll be back with you in a minute when I get set up. We'll ice our cake, our birthday cake. Okay, my friends, we're ready to ice our cake. So I'm going to take one of these. We got 3 cakes to put on here, so 3 layers. So there's my first layer. And what I'm going to do is kind of eyeball this icing, and kind of divide it into thirds. smear it around on our cake. I've let my cake cool now. You want to make sure that your cake is cool. And just give a nice coating of icing all around. I think I could use a little bit more. I'm gonna make me a big pot of coffee this afternoon after lunch. And I am going to sit down and I'm gonna have me some cake. Some carrot cake. All right, so there's our first little layer. And what I did is I took some pecans and I toasted them in a little iron skillet with no butter or anything. I just kind of let the skillet get hot and then I turn them off, and I'm gonna put a few in between. If you don't want that, then don't put it. If you don't like nuts, don't put it in there. If you like nuts, put you some kind of something in there. I'm gonna kind of eyeball that and divide it in 3 little packs right there. I'll put the first one on. Well, this kind of looks Christmassy, doesn't it? This would be a nice cake to make ahead of time. Okay, now we'll take the next one. Put it on. Put me some icing out there. If you want the icing all over all of your cake, the sides too, then just do a double recipe of your icing and cover the sides. That'd be a good thing. You just have to get you 2 cream cheese and 2 sticks of butter. Just double whatever I did, and then you'll be good. Okay, put some nuts on that one. Okay, now we're going to line it up now. I'm going to get it all out for the last row. Let me get my cake. Okay. Now we're going to put the rest of our icing on. And this is going to be your birthday cake and my birthday cake. Everybody that was born on November the 1st. And hey, there may be some people that was born November the 1st, 1946. If so, we have the exact same birthday. And the year. Alright, I'm going to show y'all what I do to keep my cake from falling all over the world. Boy, that looks good. Okay. I'm going to take some of these sticks right here. All they are is bob sticks. These kebabs, you just buy them in the store, just these little sticks. And what I do is I measure how tall the cake is, and I break it off right there, where however tall it was. That's how tall it was. I'm going to put 3 of them in. And that's going to hold it together. Measure this one. Break it off. People that use toothpicks, they put them on every single layer. And this works better because you don't have all those toothpicks in it. Just break it off where you need to and put it in. That's going to hold it together. And then put your last coat. Beautiful carrot cake. Pretty. Hey, happy birthday, y'all. If you've got my birthday, happy birthday to you. I hope you have a good one. Whether you're a Yankee, whether you're in California, whether you're in New York City, or way down in Florida, or maybe in the midsection of the United States or another country. There's a lot of us that were born on this day. There are a lot of baby boomers out there, like me. It's turned 74 today. And I just want to wish everybody a happy birthday, okay? And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. God bless you.